All right. Good morning, everybody. We are live, or we should be if this is working. I think it is. I have PTSD from starting this too many times and it's not actually on, but it is. Two people are watching. Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday. This is new for me. Normally, I'm a Monday girl with the live podcast, but Caitlin and I swapped this week. So I am checking in with you guys on this fine Friday. Happy New Year. Ant's confirming you are live. Brilliant. Happy New Year. It is January 2nd, and I feel like I've had quite a busy year already. Yesterday, Oxfit did our Deca Mile, which was so fun. It was the perfect way to start off 2026. The vibes were awesome. And it just really set the tone for what I think this year is going to feel like. And even before that, on New Year's Eve, I had my noon class in Grant Park. I think I had like 35 people in that class just working out, having a good time. Attendance in the gym has been awesome. So I can tell you guys are excited for 2026. You're ready to be in the gym, get back in the gym, stay in the gym. Some of you never left. You've been in here every single day that we've been open, which is amazing. But yeah, Deca Mile, so fun. First time, well, we've tested it before, but this was the first official one we've done. I know Deca is a little confusing just because there are so many variations of it, but at its base, it is 10 stations just as fast as you can do them. The stations stay the same every single time you do a Deca, so it's a really fun race to do, over and over again. See if you can get a little bit faster, see if you can try different strategies. The one we've done the most is just the 10 stations, but yesterday we did a Deca Mile, which had about a 160-meter run before every station, so that by the end of the race, you've done all 10 stations and you've run a mile, Deca Mile. But it was great. I think we had over 50 people coming out at 12 o'clock on New Year's Day to do that race. Beefy and I did it together. I know Ant did it with Pranav. Keith did it with Jamie. He says good morning. Everybody crushed it. And it's one of those that immediately when you finish, I'm like, oh, I could have done that faster. But in the moment, I definitely could not have done it faster. If you did it with a partner, you got to break up all your reps. You had to run the first and the last run as a team, but all the runs in between for all the other stations, it was just one athlete. So it was a really cool race to practice some different strategies and see how you were going to break it up. But if anyone's watching that did the Deca Mile, chime in. Tell me what you thought about that race. Was it too chaotic with people running in and out of the gym, tagging in and out? Was it just enough chaos? I'm excited to do it again. I think Deca Mile is going to come back in the fall just because it fits in pretty nicely with our fall endurance cycle. But we're definitely going to see some more versions of Deca popping up in the summer and then Mile in the fall. And then I'm sure we'll do another one. Ant said, I don't realize how much I missed Deca. Yeah, we were talking about it and just kept looking at each other during the race and being like, Deca's so cool. And it is because you can be any fitness level and you can do this race. If you're, new to the gym, maybe just getting started with your fitness journey, you're just going to go a little bit slower, but you can do all of the movements. All of the movements are very achievable. It's lunges, it's rowing, skiing, box step overs, you don't even jump, med ball sit-ups. There's some D-ball cleans with some pretty light weights, so most people can just go ahead and do it, even if you've never done a D-ball clean before. You spend some time on the bike. There's burpees, there's farmer's carry, there's sled, push and pull, all stuff that we do in the gym every day. But even if you don't work out at a gym like Oxfit, you can get through those movements really no matter what your fitness level is. So that's what's so cool, is to see people just absolutely crushing it. And we've done so many Decas at this point that, of course, our Oxfit athletes keep coming back and getting faster and getting better. But we do have a lot of members of Atlanta community, but even a little bit further, we've got folks that travel from Birmingham, from, up North Georgia, and they keep coming to our DECA events because we have such a good time. And so seeing those people come back again and again is really cool. And we've built some fun friendships, and it's just cool to bond over something like DECA. Cash is asking, when are we doing DECA Atlas again? We are going to do DECA Atlas and DECA Strong in June. We're going to do another summer fit fest. So I think we're going to try to release that sign up and release those dates as soon as possible so that people that did DECA can go ahead and get a spot, because those filled up fast. That was a huge event. So we are going to definitely do it again. Caitlin said, love when we crush things together. Yep, Caitlin and I were partners. We crushed it, and Aunt reminded her that, yes, she did throw up afterwards, which it was a little dramatic. I'm not going to lie. I don't really think that was necessary, but she threw up. She worked hard. We didn't go very fast. So hopefully next time we're going to go a little bit quicker. I know we can. We need to have a better strategy. We just pretty much went into it without talking about it, which is really fun for the first time. It was a great baseline. Not really having expectations, just having fun with it. And we'll try it again in the fall and see if we can bring our time down. But yeah, DECA, awesome. And I joked afterwards when we went out to grab some lunch, I was like, so many gyms would have spent months planning that event. And I remember a few weeks ago, before the holidays, we were just like, should we just do one on the 1st? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then we all show up and we just have it down to such a science that we all just know what to do. An hour before DECA starts, we just get it set up. The coaches run through it, and then people start getting there, and then we just start. It's super smooth, and it's always a good time. All right, we're going to let Caitlin live. Caitlin 2862. We're trying to figure out what that means. If anyone knows what 2862 means, you can drop it in the comment. I'm sure we're all happy to figure that out. Yeah, January 2nd, we are finally getting back to a new training cycle. The past few weeks have been a little bit weird, and I feel like people have kind of noticed the limbo that the gym has been in. I mean, the workouts have been so fun. It's been nice to give the coaches a little bit of freedom just to have fun with their classes, change up the workouts a little bit, do some fun finishers, because we haven't been in a traditional training cycle. We retested our last cycle before Thanksgiving because I wanted you guys to get a chance to fill out those scorecards before all the holidays started. But now we are done with all the fun 12 days of Oxfit, holiday workouts, all of that. We are ready to start our first training cycle of 2026 is what we call our spring training cycle. So the scorecards are going to come back on Monday. A new week of workouts is going to start. And I'll give you guys a little preview, sneak peek. I'm not going to pull anything up on the screen, but you guys are going to get your normal Sunday email from me that's going to have a list of all of the baseline workouts that are coming up on Monday. But as always, the spring cycle is really where we try to lay a good foundation. We usually have a lot of new faces in the gym. We have people that maybe have taken a little hiatus from the holidays, and it's good to come back in January and get back to basics a little bit. Relearn some important technique, do some strict gymnastics, some pretty basic power lifts. And that's where we're going to start. So on Monday, we're bringing back our Mad Max, Mad Mary workout. We did this workout last January. So you guys not only will be setting a baseline for this year, but you'll have some history for this workout that you can look back on. And we're going to focus on that bench press, back squat, and deadlift. And this is pretty intentionally programmed because if you have been at Oxfit for a while, you know that in the spring we do our Oxfit liftoff. So this baseline week, we're going to test bench, back squat, deadlift. And then in March, we're going to get a chance to have a little friendly competition, little lift off for people inside and outside the gym. If anyone wants to test, a 1 rep max for those lifts. Tuesday, we're going to have a little interval workout. We're going to go through some stations. We had a workout similar to this in our winter training cycle, our all-star cycle from 2025. But this is just a really great test of fitness. It's called decathlete. So this is really going to get you ready for all of these DECA events we have. This is going to feel like a DECA race. It's a pretty similar time frame of a DECA strong or a DECA mile that you're going to feel in this workout. So that'll be super fun. And then Wednesday is all about some strict gymnastics. So we're really going to try to develop some good, just basic push-up skills, strict pull-ups. It's nothing fancy. It's just going to help us build a great foundation of strength so that as we go through the year, if you want to get better at kipping pull-ups or toes to bar or anything like that, you have a really great foundation that you've built up over the past few weeks during this cycle. Thursday, we're going to be moving some barbells overhead. We haven't gone overhead with a barbell in a couple training cycles, so this will be a nice refresh for that movement. And this is going to be kind of an ode to beach brawl. So beach brawl traditionally has been something we've done in September, but we are switching it up this year. We are going to beach brawl at the end of March. And it's going to be teams of 3. So we're not going to do any individual competition, but this workout is going to feel like some of the more CrossFit style beach brawl workouts that we'll have at the end of March. So if you like the workout coming up on Thursday, if you thought that was a ton of fun, then you would definitely enjoy doing something like beach brawl or a CrossFit, fitness competition. So just kind of keep those things in mind. During the week, you can look back and see what day did I really, really enjoy. There's probably an event tied to that workout that feels similar that you would have fun signing up for. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're going through baseline week. But yeah, we have a great week of workouts lined up. I'm super excited to start a new training cycle. I think our last all-star cycle that we ended 2025 with was one of our best ones yet. We just keep getting better results. We keep getting, better feedback from athletes after each training cycle because I think, me as a head coach, with our coaching team and Caitlin and Ant and Lauren, we're just so dedicated to trying to get a little bit better every time, always asking ourselves, what can we do to make this more effective or more fun or more interesting? And I feel like we're doing that bit by bit. Every cycle, something improves. So I know this cycle is going to be no different. I'm sure there's stuff that we'll learn from and change up before the summer, but overall, I'm pumped. So yeah, when I look at those workouts, I see a ton of fun, but on the other side of that, I can already hear, the comments coming in whenever, we face things that we aren't good at. People might say, I don't care how heavy I can back squat. I don't care what happens to my deadlift or bench press. My life will not change if I can do a pull-up or if I cannot do a pull-up. I've always been bad at cardio. It's not going to change now. I hate it. And I get it. Those thoughts are very familiar. They feel harmless, but they're also just the fastest way to stay exactly where you are. And like I just said, with us trying to make this program a little bit better every day, that's our goal for you guys. We don't need drastic changes overnight, but I feel like the people that excel at Oxfit are the people that just want to get a little bit better every day or every week or every training cycle. And when I look at, all of these specific skills, yes, it's something as specific as a barbell shoulder to overhead or a D-ball clean or a strict pull-up. They all seem so particular, but what I really see when I look at all of that is opportunities. So an opportunity to just build muscle, to strengthen your core, to improve, the function of your cardiovascular system. And I can't think of a single person that would say, I don't care how well my heart works. That would be crazy, right? Everyone cares. You need to have muscle in order to stand up straight. You need to have core strength in order to carry your kids around and carry your groceries. So if you put a different name to a shoulder to overhead or a D-ball clean, they are things you care about. We just have a specific way of measuring and developing and testing those skills. And it's not about being good at things. It's just about improving, your bodily functions and improving your physical and mental quality of life. Because you can't argue with the fact that if you're a mom that can do a pull-up and knock out 20 burpees in a minute, you do have a better quality of life than someone who can't. And you can't argue with that. And I think here at Oxfit, we've really created a place where everyone can thrive and everyone can improve their quality of life. And we really meet the needs of a regular person. We're not filled with super fitness robot athletes. We're just regular people. We're your neighbors, the people you see in the grocery store, the parents of the kids that, go to the same school that yours do. And we've made a program that can just fit everyone's lifestyle. And today, that's kind of the point of this episode. I want to talk about why our baseline week matters here at Oxfit, why the week that's coming up is so important, and how Oxfit has finally figured out fitness for the regular person. And I might be biased, but I really do think Oxfit has it right when it comes to this. So the first point is that everyone can do these workouts no matter your fitness level. There's a way to scale every single movement so that when you walk into the gym, you get your scorecard, you can write something down. And you can retest that same workout in 8 weeks to see your before and after. There is no, I have to get in shape before I come to your gym, or I'm not ready for all that. If you have ever said that to me or are a person that would say that, that's insane. And just know that my eyes will roll into outer space. All right. I cannot stand when people say that they have to get in shape in order to come to the gym. Just because we posted an Instagram story where someone was stringing together 20 pull-ups and doing a 200-pound front squat or whatever it is, that doesn't mean that that's what every single person in the gym is doing. Everyone starts with an empty barbell. Everyone starts doing ring rows, and then we develop your skills to whatever level they get to. And that is totally different for each athlete. And that's why this is a place that works for me. This is a place that works for somebody's grandma. This is a place that works for Caitlin and Aunt. We're all very different people, but we are working on the same skills at our level. So that's probably the biggest thing, is this point number one, is that everyone can participate. And it's not, only 5 people can do today's workout, everybody else go in that corner and just figure it out and wait until tomorrow. The next point is that Oxfit doesn't just move our bodies or get a good sweat. All right, there's none of that. Now, there might be days where you need that approach. I have those days where I'll come into the gym and I say, okay, today's workout's going to be probably 50% for me. I'm just going to move because I'm sore, or I didn't sleep well last night, or whatever it is. But the programming is always intentional, so that if you do come into the gym ready to work on your skills and get better at something, the workout is written in a way that it will serve that purpose for you. I never write something on the board or put something into Wodify and I'm just like, let them just move today. If you need to do that, that's fine. But everything is always intentional. And the next point is that we measure what matters. So there are plenty of days where you'll take one of my classes and I don't give a shit what the leaderboard says. I don't care if you got 200 reps versus 201 reps. I care that you gave your best effort in that workout. However, when it does matter, so this next week matters, it's baseline week, or when it's retest week, or if we're putting in a weight for, a 5-rep back squat, your coaches are going to guide you on those things. But when it does matter, we measure it and we track it. And you can't improve what you don't measure. So nobody says, just study and hope you pass the test. No, you're going to quiz yourself. You're going to track how much homework you did on what days. You're going to look at your test scores. The gym is no different. If you don't know your reps, you don't know your weight or your consistency, how do you know you're improving? So we look at it from tracking is not obsessive, it's just feedback. But more importantly, we measure when it matters. And it doesn't matter all the time, but it's good to have that feedback and that data in your back pocket so that when you think nothing's changing, you can look back and say, oh, actually, it is. And that goes into how we build intrinsic motivation by showing you proof that your efforts, they do matter. So most people quit the gym because they think nothing is changing, because you can't see progress. But as your coaches, if we're able to take you up to the board and say, no, you've been coming 4 days a week for 2 months and look what happened to your deadlift, or look at this before and after picture. You didn't have abs and now you do. So obviously something is changing. And I can't tell you how many times that I have had to do that and put a photo or a number in front of an athlete's face for them to say, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, I am getting stronger. I am getting faster. I was just having a bad day and I was choosing not to notice those things. And I think that really helps our athletes, and Oxfit helps our athletes respect their effort. You pay to come to this gym. You put a lot of effort into these workouts. Respect it enough to track it. Write it down. Log in on your phone. Remember it, because when you track your workouts, you're telling yourself this matters. And when it does matter, you stick with it. So that's really why this baseline week exists. And Oxfit has always had a week of workouts, and then X amount of weeks later, we retest those workouts. And over the past couple years, that has evolved into us bringing our athletes these scorecards, which I think is great because it is like a tangible reminder that when you see those scorecards sitting there and your coach writes your name on it and says, we're filling this out every day, your brain knows that it's baseline week and you are putting an effort into what you're doing because it matters to you. So if you guys look at this upcoming week's workouts and you see just some burpees or some squats or some workout you don't want to do, just know that I see so much more, and it could be so much more. It's the ability to build confidence, to get on a fast track towards real progress, and leave a lot of guesswork behind. You know, we put these workouts together, we record your scores. Take advantage of that. Make sure you actually count your reps this week. Make sure you pay attention to what weight is actually on your bar, and you push yourself to set a true baseline. But more importantly, I want you guys to treat this week as a baseline for what it is. This is not a test to see whether you are good or you are bad. This is just a starting point. So just give your best effort, fill out the first column of that scorecard, and then we're going to have fun for 8 weeks. And I promise if you come 3 times a week and you're intentional with your training, by the end of this cycle, when we retest these workouts, there's no way you're not going to see improvement. And if you want to take it a little bit further, maybe if you've been a member of Oxfit for a while, think about what I said before, how each workout this week correlates to an event or a challenge that we're doing in the gym. If you've been crushing baseline and retest week for a few cycles now, it might be time for you to challenge yourself to something else, which is super exciting. DECA, the lift off, beach brawl, whatever it is, ask your coaches about it, ask me about it, and we can see how that fits into your season of training for spring 2026. Overall, I am so pumped for next week. Like I said, you guys are going to get all of those workouts in your email, and they will populate on Wodify on Sunday. So you can look at the details, get excited for what's coming up. We have an awesome start to 2026. And we're going to end with Coach Beefy letting us know that she could not even squat the barbell when she joined Oxfit. Look at her now. And that is something we should all remember. It does not matter what your fitness level is. You do not need to get fit in order to be here at Oxfit. You just need to show up, fill out that scorecard, and we will take care of the rest. So hope you guys have a great Friday. Hope you have an awesome weekend. I am pumped to see everyone in the gym next week. Let's